Yeah.
All of our entertainment is run predominantly. So like Kanye was showing
He
just showed you. And like Dave Chappelle said at the his monologue at SNL is that there are a lot, and everybody knows that. It's something like he said, there's something everybody knows, but you're not allowed to say for some reason. Alright, so Malcolm writes, I'm sure you guys have heard that Kanye West is being accused of being an anti-Semite. So is Kyrie Irving. What do you two think about it? I added some clips here for you to look up. Keep up the good content. Okay, well, thank you, Malcolm. We appreciate that. Let's look at the clips. There's two he sent us. I had to download these. So he sent us a Malcolm X clip and a Kanye West. Let's look at the Kanye West first. And it's only a few seconds.
Do you regret your statements?
What statements you think you should be walking back? I mean, considering...
What do you mean walking back?
Well, backing up off of them. I mean, the thing is, you've lost a lot of endorsements. People are dropping you. You're getting, vilified. I mean, you might think you're right, but I think, there's a whole world out there that's condemning you for what you said.
Okay, so this right here is a chart of Universal Studios, 20th Century Fox, ABC News, CBS News, DreamWorks Animation. Now, the thing is, I skipped over maybe about 5 of them because it was just unclear on this list. The red are the executives that are Jewish at these companies.
Okay, that's that clip. Okay, so he sent us a Kanye West clip, and then he also sent us a Malcolm X clip, I guess in relation to this.
Are you anti-Semitic?
Anti-Semitic.
You've many of the things that I've read about you, and you've made a mention a couple of times about the Jews and everything, and I'm wondering if you are personally anti-Semitic.
No. How can I be anti-Semitic when the Arabs are half the Muslim world is Semitic? If I was anti-Semitic, I'd be anti-Arab and anti-everything else. No, I think that in this country, there's one mistake that the Jews make. They put themselves in a position where whenever anybody gives an objective analysis of the role that they play, they defend themselves by accusing you of being anti-Semitic. And a Negro is not anti-Semitic when he says that the man who's exploiting him in his community is white, because it is a white man who owns all the stores. Now, is it an accident that these whites who own these stores are Jewish? If it's an accident, then the fact that he says the Jew on the corner is exploiting me isn't an anti-Semitic statement. It's just more descriptive of the man who's exploiting him.
Okay. Okay, so now I see why he sent us both of those clips together. So yeah, Kanye did a simple thing, which you would think he just was explaining that a lot of Hollywood is Jewish, which is true. I mean, like, why? It's true. And so what Malcolm X is saying is literally what Kanye West is saying, or what Kanye is saying. What Malcolm basically is what he's saying is that when you're given a he's literally just given a description of a group of people that are kind of monopolized a section of Hollywood. And Malcolm X was doing the exact same thing, only in the communities. So, but when you question that, you can't question anymore. So when you question that, all of a sudden, anti-Semite, like right now, I think Ben Shapiro. Yes, he's Daily Wire. I watch Daily Wire. I like it. Yeah. But Ben Shapiro had gotten his feelings about Kanye West and Candace Owens. Candace Owens works for Ben. And I like Ben. And I do like Ben. But he's the one that says facts over feelings, and how he's getting his feelings because he's a Jewish. Right. You know what I mean? Everyone knows, I listen to very old music, like Ella Fitzgerald, and the people that were around her were all Jewish. They're all Jewish. That was back in the 40s. And, so Hollywood has been pretty much Hollywood entertainment has been pretty much dominated by Jewish people. Even Jason Whitlock on his show, he talked about it, and he said that there are secular Jews that are not like religious Jews. Because because Kanye actually did separate that, right? Yeah, the secular thing. Yeah, he also did another, which is worth. I don't know who this guy is. He's pretty successful. I've never heard of him before, but I watched the interview, and I think that maybe he might be Jewish. I'm not sure. I'd have to find the clip. But actually, Jason Whitlock played it. Okay. And the guy was going back and forth with Kanye about the fact that he won't call out the names of these people, that he shouldn't say Jewish, he should call the names separately. And he was like, okay, well then, are you going to stand by me? Right. Because now I'm defamation of character, and I'm going to get sued, and so that's why people don't say names. Yeah. Because look at Alex Jones. That's why you
shouldn't
You know what I mean? They're
Right.
afraid to say stuff
Right.
like that, but it's the
Yeah,
truth. The
careful.
truth is that Hollywood and the entertainment business, even the record companies, they're all run by predominantly Jewish people. And so what Jason Whitlock was saying is that there's this group of there is this sector of Jews. So it's just like black people. There are black people who are like a sector of black people that are not, they commit crimes. Let's just say that. You know, just use it like that. You know what I mean? And then there are, but when we talk about like gangs, we think of black people.
Right.
But it's not all black people. It's just a sector
section,
of black. But does that mean we don't talk about it?
Right. Do we just?
And that was Kanye's point. His point was when he was talking to this guy. I wish I knew the guy's name. I didn't know we were going to talk about this. But
Oh, sorry.
he was saying that he's like, right, when we talk about the mob, we're not talking about all of Italy. We're talking about a sector of Italians that they run a lot of political stuff. And he just, so the same thing with Jews. He said the only difference between black people and Italians is that when you talk about Jewish, you're not allowed to talk about it anymore.
Because Kanye is well known for calling out black people for their wrongdoings, right? And for the kind of the demise of black people, what's going on with our community. And so it seems as though it's okay when Kanye calls out his own people, Black Lives Matter and all this other groups that are just ridiculous, right? It's completely fine for him to call that out. But the one time you call out, you know what I mean? Like, he's telling Jewish people, especially Bishop Shapiro in that situation, like, you're going to have to be able to call out your own group. We talked about this before. If we're willing to call out our own group, which you should, if it's doing something's wrong, then you should be willing to call out your own group. To just say that Jewish people are all just great, all of them, is not right. That's not even that can't even factually be right.
Right, but you know, the
You know
Jewish
what I mean?
people run all of the media, all
They
of
do, they
Hollywood,
run
all
all
of
of
the
it, yeah.
all of our entertainment
Yeah.
is run predominantly. So like Kanye was
He
showing
just showed you.
He just showed you. And like Dave Chappelle said at the
SNL.
his monologue at SNL is that there are a lot, and everybody knows that. It's something like he said. There's something everybody
Right.
knows, but you're not allowed to say.
Right.
For some reason.
For some reason.
You're not allowed to say.
Well,
And-
now we know the reason, because they don't want to. I feel like the moment you question it, you're questioning the entire. They're saying you're questioning the entire race.
However, Jerry Seinfeld actually, I think he tweeted the other day that he watched Dave Chappelle's monologue. He said, and it's worth talking about. You know,
They
there's
do.
a lot of black people get mad at us because we talk about black problems
all the time.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things that are clear.
But why wouldn't we?
You know what I mean? And I think that if you're not, I feel the same way. Like if you're a Democrat, if you can't call out Democrats when they do something wrong, then that's the problem. If you can't call out Republicans for doing something wrong, and you're a Republican, if you can't call out gay people and you're gay,
You're a woman and you see
say
something
wrong.
then
There's
you should
something's
call out.
wrong when you can't when you're whatever group you are part of, you know, does the most, and then you can't call that out.
Like, why?
There's some sort of insecurity in that, and so to me, with some maybe with Jewish people, there's some insecurity in the fact that all of them are not really religious Jews. They are
Secular Jews.
secular Jews.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Particularly in the movie and music industry that spews out all this mostly
Woke,
black people
yeah.
doing sexuality and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And so Kanye was saying that. Is basically what he's saying. It's
Because
just a lot
behind all of this woke
all
stuff,
of these
there's a
people,
Jewish
right?
person. Yeah.
There are a lot of people that, like, when we look at all these explicit black people doing stuff that are a lot of behind them are a lot of
Jewish run.
well, I mean, like all the
companies.
record companies and stuff. That's who's bankrolling them.
But again, it's not. It's
They're
not
quiet.
a secret. It's not like it's a
not a
secret. It's
secret.
just that it's something you can't talk about, because once you do, you get Kanye. You get Kyrie Irving. You know what I mean? You can't talk about it.
Kyrie
I mean,
Irving was saying he was sorry.
Yeah.
But he realized
But
that they were adding more, and they were basically
Yeah.
making him grovel. And he was like, no, and good for him. You don't need to do that. What's her name? Candace Owens. Ben Shapiro, I think he had a little thing with Candace Owens because Candace Owens stood up for Kanye and said, no, I mean, that is true. And, you know, again, here we have Ben Shapiro, who I respect. I like him.
I do too.
You know, I watch the Daily Wire. But, yeah, Ben, you can't talk about people having facts over feelings, and then you can't you can't dive deep
Yeah.
and talk about your own base. of people,
Yeah.
and call out the things that they might be doing that are impacting, because he's you know, your own values.
Yeah.
Their values aren't your values. And that's the thing, is like, I think sometimes when we look at people, this is what being a monolith, this is how this hurts. Because when you look at yourself as all the same, you feel like they all represent you.
Yeah.
And the thing is all black people are not the same.
They're not.
And that's the point. That's why when we talk about it and we talk about, no, we're not all the same. You know, all Jewish people clearly aren't the same. All, you know what I mean? And so that's what I'm saying. You have to be able to say, yeah, I am Jewish, I'm proud of that, but I'm not proud of this.
Jewish people are very sensitive to this particular topic too. They're not happy about anybody who comes out, you know, not even against Jewish people. I don't feel like people are being against Jewish people. I think that people are against, you know, Hollywood, Hollywood and what Hollywood's promoting, and what we're seeing now is it's the promotion of the sexuality and the kind of recklessness that we're seeing right now is, you know, Hollywood. And, you know, while we always mention, the reason why we mention celebrity in Hollywood a lot is because they are the ones who kind of frame and mold the way that we move.
Yeah.
And I think that what it is that a lot of people don't even want to believe that. But if you're being honest with yourself, you know, and then just look at how Hollywood kind of shapes the way we eat, what we talk about, what we listen to, all this stuff. They shape all of that, what we wear. You know, and so this is why it's important to talk about this whole anti-Semite thing, because it's very interesting that they are, like, Jewish people are running Hollywood. So why? So the question then becomes, why do they corner that like that? What is it? Why do they do that?
I don't know.
I don't know
well,
either.
I mean, it's because they run the media.
Yeah.
And they want good press.
Yeah, right.
And because they run the media, they have the power to create good press, no matter what they must do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The problem with black people is most of us don't own anything.
Yeah.
Not even the celebrities that you see are millionaires. They don't really
own.
own. They own their houses and stuff like that, but they don't. A lot of them don't own their whole career.
Well, I think it's what Malcolm X was just saying in the clip there, but it is interesting that he was saying, why is it that when you're given a description, and the description happens to be Jewish or black or Hispanic, why is it that when you're given a description of something, all of a sudden you're canceled? So it reminds me of when Donald Trump gave a description of Mexican people that are coming through the borders illegally, right? And he gave the description. The description happened to be that Mexican people were coming here with, you know, sending the wrong people, right? Not sending their best, I think is what he said. But he was given a description of the people that were coming through the border, and it just so happened that the people are Mexican. But he's not saying that all Mexicans are like that. But then people took it like that, right? It's the same thing with this whole Jewish thing. Kanye didn't say all Jewish people. But there is a section of, you know, Hollywood that obviously he just showed that is largely Jewish. But you can't, it's like you can't question anything anymore. The moment you question something, the moment you have a difference of opinion that doesn't go with the masses, that is when the cancellation starts. You're homophobic, you're transphobic, you're, you know what I mean, you're sexist, you're racist. Now you're anti-Semite.
Even if you look at Dave Chappelle's monologue, though,
he was
as
careful,
funny as he was, you could see he was careful.
Very careful.
He seemed a little afraid to say, I'm a Democrat. Make sure everyone knew that that's what he was, because a lot of people thought he wasn't for a while. You know what I mean? And the way that he kind of talked about things, it's like he was calling it out on one end. Even when he talked about Donald Trump. He made a good point of saying the reason why people like Donald Trump is because Donald Trump came out as a billionaire and said, yeah, everything you think we're doing behind there we're doing. Then we went right back in there and started doing it again.
Right.
And he was like, right. But then he kind of cleaned it up and started talking about the Russia thing.
Yeah.
And we all know that Russia stuff was crap.
Yeah, it wasn't true.
It was because Hillary lost. That's why they started that whole Russia thing.
It's interesting though to see him be careful like that.
It was interesting.
He was like, because he even mentioned on the, and you know, the thing is, I love Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle's my favorite, I would say he's my favorite comedian. He's my favorite. And the reason why he's my favorite is because he's not watered down, and he's a good storyteller. And obviously he's funny, but it's just a combination of all of those things. Like I could see a little bit that he was careful with the Democrat part. Like he really had to say that. I felt like he had to say it. Like then I felt like he had to say it.
It was a good monologue. I'm just saying you
good,
can tell that there is some sort of fear that these celebrities have, that they are afraid to say their truth. I was watching Tucker Carlson. He did an interview with Kid Rock. And Kid Rock, he was like, how can you not be cancelable? How can, like, people, you say all kinds of stuff, and people call you racist. And he said, because I don't work for record labels.
So if there was, I mean, a message behind the album, what would it be?
To my fans, I love you dearly. To you critics, haters, and trolls, go yourself.
That's pretty clear on the album, isn't it? Like you're not kind of hiding that message, are you?
I have the things I do is like, to solidify my fans, and like I'll say a lot in this interview, my friends, family, and fans. That's really all that matters to me. But I love the trolls and the haters and the critics who've been trying to, knock me down for 20, 30 years. And I'm still standing, still operating at the highest levels. And so sometimes I do things purposefully, just to kind of be a wise ass or look like a little bit of a just because my fans will get the tongue in cheek and the fun it, and the people that hate me will just go, God damn it. It'll just piss them off more.
So why haven't you been canceled? Like, people aren't allowed to say what they think. You are.
I am uncancelable.
Why's that?
Because I don't give a And I'm not in bed with any big corporate things at the end of the day. There's nobody I'm beholden to, no record companies, no corporate interests, no nothing. And you can't cancel me. I love it when they try. I'm like, yeah, let's have some fun.
Why aren't there more artists like that?
Because they're in bed with record companies and, corporate deals and structures at every level. And, it's, and if someone finds a way to get me a little bit here and there, I'll find another way around it.
You never see artists talk like that. They seem very easy to intimidate. At what point did you realize, like, you're just not going to be intimidated?
Day one.
Really?
I think I crawled out of the womb with both middle fingers in the air. And that wasn't anything. A lot of it, is, there's a little fun in there to kind of, be rock and roll and be the bad guy and this, that, and the other. Because, my heart's big at the end of the day. And I have a lot of love and respect for anybody that shows that back to me. But, Grandpa don't play no mess either.
I will say that, you can tell, even Dave Chappelle on some level has some freedom, but on some level, in order to be on places like Saturday Night Live, you have to then, it's part of Hollywood, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's part of the mainstream. And once you start going, just what Kid Rock was saying, that once you start seeing these people on mainstream, there are things they can say and cannot say, and they're not going to. There's a reason why, like Steve Harvey is not going to say some things.
Well, Steve Harvey
is not going to have a career.
Steve Harvey actually did. I hope I can find this. I don't know if I can find this, but I'm gonna try to. But he's, you guys can Google it and everything. But he actually said this. Someone asked him. He was doing an interview with somebody, and someone asked him, how come you don't? Are you gonna go back to doing stand up? And Steve said no. He goes, well, if I do go back to stand up, he can't see himself doing it because he's doing a lot of mainstream stuff right now. Okay, he's doing Family Feud. He did the Miss Universe thing. He had his show. So a lot of stuff he's doing is very mainstream, and it's part, he's towing the line a little bit. You know what I mean? So he's like, and when you do stand up, it is an art that cannot be watered down. Like if you do it correctly, it can't be watered down. If you guys remember Steve Harvey when he first started doing stand up, it was a very it was there was no filter on that. And so he's like, and the truth, he told the truth. He said the thing is that I work for, these companies, these industries and stuff like that. He's like, so I can't just be going, if I go on, a comedy tour, I'm not going to be able to say the things that I really want to say. It's the same thing. I think he even mentioned Kevin Hart, all these other people who are also in with the big, industry. In the industries, they just can't say certain things. You got advertisements and sponsors and stuff like that. There's certain things that you can and cannot say, and it makes you realize that why they all kind of toe the same line, and why they all somewhat, when they talk in interviews, they all kind of sound the same. It's like, they're all giving kind of the same interview. Like it's very odd.
Go on YouTube. Gone are the days of George Carlin, Don Rickles, what's the name? Richard Pryor,
Red Fox.
Go look at the Dean Martin comedy roast. Just look at it, and you will be amazed the things that come out. The Jewish jokes, the black jokes that white people are saying to black people.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The older women joke, the younger women jokes. Everyone is it's free. It's just almost like the Italian jokes. It just goes on and on and on, and they're free. That was real comedy. And that was when you could make fun of people, and people didn't get offended, canceled, in their job. All of those people, the great people that we all listen to. Even like I said, even like Bill Cosby was very funny. Bill Cosby, George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Don Rickles, what's his name, Red Fox. All of those really great comedians would be canceled today.
Yeah.
None of those people would have jobs. If you look at the shows from like the Sanford and Son, you know, if you look at Archie Bunker, if you look at those shows, all those shows would be canceled. And they were still mostly Jewish run.
Yeah.
But it seemed like something happened when we got this woke culture where all of a sudden, if you make fun of any group of people, then you're just a racist, an anti-Semite, a homophobic.
Right.
You're, you know, if you make fun of women, you're somehow, you know, bashing women. It's really sick because life was almost funner.
People are so afraid to talk, right? And this is why I'm, you know, like I know Kanye have said in the past like a lot of different things, but y'all, what he says is true.
But look at the people that happen in Hollywood. I mean, look at what happened to Mariah Carey. Look what happens to these people.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Kanye may have issues, whatever,
Yeah.
but look at all of them. Mariah Carey went crazy. Britney Spears went crazy. Martin Lawrence went crazy.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle went to Africa.
Lindsay
Lindsay Lohan went nuts. I mean, it's just like something happens
When
with
you
these
get
people
to a certain level,
when they're just controlled all the time, and they have handlers. Michael Jackson, Prince. You know what I mean? They're all just Whitney Houston. All of these people. Whitney Houston. I mean, you knew who Whitney Houston was in the 80s. You would never think that she would turn out what she turned out to be in the 90s and 2000s. She was like a drug crackhead. You know what I mean? It's just like all of these people, you know, they've got like handlers.
Yeah.
And I think it drives them crazy because on one end, I think celebrity is a great responsibility and it makes you famous, it makes you rich.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I think it's almost a prison in itself because then you can't say anything you want to say, you can't go anywhere you want to go, you can't be free.
Well, then also you got to remember too. So I think you also got to remember that they're celebrities in their craft. It's a creative craft, and so when you're stifling them, when they're being stifled like that, it has to make them go crazy. I feel like that would make me go. If you're a creative person and that's what your whole job is based on creativity, music and movies, TV, whatever, acting, you know, I feel like that would be hard for me. But I think I would go crazy if you have to toe a certain line. Otherwise, you can't sit at that table. Because there's celebrities who are very, very talented, but they're like D-list. And the reason why they're D-list is because they didn't go that extra mile to sit at the table. But when you get into the Michael Jackson, there's, you know what I'm saying? Like there has to be some line that they've gone over to the other side where they have seen and known things that they really can't go back.
And Candace Owens made a good point on her show. She was talking about MK Ultra the other day, and she was saying, "Have you ever noticed though that the celebrities, all of them as a whole, I don't care if they're NBA players, there's a few like Kyrie Irving or like Kanye West that somehow draw outside the lines. Even Dave Chappelle sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
You know what I mean? But have you ever noticed that they're always advertising the same thing? I don't care if they're in the NBA, I don't care if they're movie stars, I don't care if they're singing. They're all for women's rights. They're all for Ukraine. They're all for LGBT. They're all for, it's like a weird cult.
It just, when you say something that is completely off script from what the narrative is supposed to be based on your gender and your race. Because based on our gender and our race, we were supposed to be Democrats and woke. We're supposed to be talking about all that stuff, right? And when you don't, anger comes. The anger comes immediately. All that comes immediately. And I can imagine, and I'm only saying with us because we're not even at a level like that in this, we're out there, but we're not like in a level like that. Can you imagine being on the level of like a Katy Perry or something? And then say something like that? Wow, I can't imagine.
Was it Meg the Stallion or Nicki Minaj? One of them didn't want to take the vaccine.
I think it was Nicki.
I think it was Nicki. She made a good point.
No, it was Nicki.
Yeah, she made a good point. I'm not with her music and stuff. Yeah. But when she says something right, she says something right. She was right about that. You need to do your research before you just let someone stick something in your arm.
But
sorry, don't agree with Donald Trump on that.
I mean, she got,
Donald Trump was all, remember that? Yeah. He was all, my vaccine is. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I like you. I'd vote for you, but I don't think so.
I don't think so, Donald.
No one can make me. I have freedom here in this country, and I want to know.
Yeah.
that came a little too fast.
Right.
I want to know what that is. So she said that, and then they were all trying to cancel her on I was like, for what? Why? Because she had a difference of opinion?
Yeah, you can't have a difference of opinion.
She's right.
We somewhere along the line we just crossed this weird line where you can't have an opinion. I feel like when all this censorship started going hard, and then with this woke culture started happening, like I think this is where it all started to go down. Because now you can't say anything when the word even the word cancel became a verb in that way. Like you just it just changed. You can't say anything if you're not saying what the narrative is telling you to say. If you're not watching CNN like a zombie every day and then regurgitating what they're saying, and you're saying something opposite of that, you are in danger of being canceled.
I mean, look at Andrew Tate, Donald Trump,
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson, all have been taken off Twitter. I think Donald Trump got reinstated, and so did I think Jordan Peterson will, but he's not going to reinstate Alex Jones.
Yeah.
But the point of saying that is that why on earth
Yeah.
are we stifling people's points of view
Yeah.
because we simply don't agree with them?
Right.
That's very Orwellian, and it's 1984.
I believe if Kevin Samuels is alive today, he would be canceled. By now he would be canceled.
Yeah,
I believe that to be true. That he
There's
would
only
not have
so much
show.
of that you're not valuable conversation he's having with black women that eventually they would have took him down as well.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
The only thing that was saving Kevin Samuels is probably because he's black.
Right.
And it's hard to cancel black people. But eventually, if he makes women mad enough,
the culture comes.
The culture comes
the
after
plantation
you.
will
You know
come.
what I mean? And Kevin wasn't saying anything really wrong.
He was just saying it boldly. You can't
just,
talk bold. And that's what Kanye does. Kanye just talks very bold, up front, no filter. He just says it. He says what's on the top of his mind. There's no teleprompter with Kanye, and that scares the crap out of Hollywood when they don't have their celebrities in order. When they do not have their celebrities in order with their dog leash, it's like Kanye's out there like a pit bull without an owner.
He don't have control over his kids.
Yes.
You know, Adidas pulled out right away,
and then
Gap, billions of dollars,
too.
and that's how they control them. They control them with money, because the thing is that these celebrities are given so much money that they fall in line. Because can you imagine being a celebrity with no money and then having to live in an apartment?
Yeah.
After you've lived a certain life,
Yeah.
you're going to play the game.
Yep.
Because unfortunately, you're comfortable now.
They'll ruin you.
Oprah's never going to be. Oprah will sell out every black woman in this world, but she's not giving up her lifestyle. She's not, and that's just facts.
So she's going to do what she has to do.
She will. If they tell her to vote for Hillary, she doesn't even like Hillary, she'll vote for her, and she'll tell you to do it too.
Yeah.
You know why? Because
she sold out to Oz, to Fetterman. She completely just Dr. Oz. When he came onto Oprah's show, he rejuvenated. You guys do know that when Oz came on her show, the Oprah show, he kind of rejuvenated that show a bit. Like I know it's Oprah.
He got his own show.
Yeah,
So
I know it's Oprah, and I understand that those two people, Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz, they both kind of and so she just completely went out and just told the line for what's his name, Fetterman. Is his name Fetterman?
Yeah.
Completely told the line for forget about Oz. You see what I'm saying? Like they will neglect what they know is right to go this, because they want to keep their place.
And the point is that whether you agree with all of these people, Kevin Samuels, Alex Jones, Candace Owens, Larry Elder, and it doesn't matter, Kanye West, or Ye, that's he calls himself now.
Oh, Ye, I'm sorry.
All of these people, Alex Jones, Donald Trump, regardless of if you agree with them or not, that's not the point. The point is that what they're doing is correct.
Yes.
Because what they're doing is saving freedom of speech.
Yeah.
And they're being made examples of. Because what they're saying is, if you don't say what we tell you to say, we will end your career.
Yeah.
Your livelihood, the way you feed your family.
I'm going to err on the side of freedom of speech. You may not always agree. The point of freedom of speech is that you don't have to always agree with what everybody's saying. It's just the fact that you would die for the right for them to say it. So you guys may not. So maybe some people out there don't agree with anything Karen and I say, which there are people who do not agree with anything we're saying in any way, shape, or form. But there's people who are smart enough and understand the American way. And the American way is that, but we have freedom of speech. So you don't have to agree with us, but to try to stifle people who are just speaking out, that to me is un-American.
Way.
It's un-American.
I don't agree with what a lot of you guys say in the comments, but I'll die for your right to say it.
Yeah.
because it's important. You
It
can't
is.
get rid of the freedom of speech.
Can't.
That is that is like the worst thing in the world to happen to America, is for
Right.
us to not be able to express ourselves
Right.
and our point of view. And everybody loves to watch people like Donald Trump get their platforms taken away until it comes to you.
Until it comes to you.
Until the world doesn't believe in what you think.
Yep.
Until you have to walk around saying stuff you don't believe so you can keep your job.
True. Also, I agree with Kanye. I agree with everything that he's saying. He's showing proof.
It's not like he's just making it up.
He's not making this up. It's not like no one knows that Jewish people are not. I mean, come on now, guys.
But also notice that all of these are men.
Yeah.
It's like this idea that we want to keep men from talking.
Right.
You when you're a woman, you can say anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're just like, you know what I mean? But it's just like, I've noticed that none of these are really women.
Right. But this is why we always get, sometimes the woke people get upset when we say this, but I'm going to say it, is that there is a war on men, clearly.
There is just a war on men.
There's a war on men.
I don't, to answer his question, no, I don't, when people say what they really mean, even if I don't agree, like we were saying about the Klan, I don't agree with anything the Klan says.
But
this is the country where you can say where you want to say, and if you stifle them, that means you can stifle me.
Yeah.
And I don't think so. So go ahead, say what you got to say, whatever.
All right, you guys, let us know what you think. Leave some comments below. I'd like to hear what your thoughts on this. Do you guys think Kanye is out of line? Do you think that something else is up? I mean, like, is it weird to you? I mean, like, did y'all see the Jewish people in Hollywood? Y'all see this, right? So it's not that strange to you guys? I don't know. Let us know. We would love to hear your thoughts. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel. We're close to 5,000 subscribers. We're really trying to get there, you guys.
It'll be a nice little Christmas gift.
It will be a nice Christmas gift. So don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of our upcoming videos. And we will see you guys on the next video. Bye.